The Prophet ﷺ was traveling with his companions in an expedition in a battle called Ghazwatu Dhat al-Riqa'. And they were camping in the evening. And the Prophet ﷺ said to his men that we need some of you to stand on guard during the night, lest an enemy should come and infiltrate our ranks and harm us. So 2 men volunteered. One man from the Muhajirun, the immigrants, and another from the Ansar, the helpers. The immigrant, of course, was Ammar ibn Yasir. And the Ansari was a man called Abbad ibn Bishr. Abbad ibn Bishr. So everyone fell asleep. And Ammar, he says to Abbad, we need to split the night between us. So I will take half and you take the other half. Which half of the night would you like? Abbad said, let me take the first half of the night, then I will wake you up and you take the second half of the night, to guard the Muslims during their sleep. So Ammar fell asleep, and Abbad, he noticed how it was a calm night. It was still, there's tranquility and peace, and he's alone. The same seclusion that a lot of people will use it as an opportunity to trespass under the limits of Allah and commit a sin. The Sahaba would see it as an opportunity to worship Allah and draw near to Him. Ya Allah, I am alone and no one can see me in this night. It's a perfect opportunity to pray with no distractions, Ya Salam. And so he turns to the Qibla and he says Allahu Akbar, and he begins Salah. And he is reciting Suratul Kahf. Lo and behold, there was a man who came and he saw the Muslims camping, and he was one of the pagans, and his wife had been injured in one of the skirmishes with the Muslims. And he had taken an oath that he will not return from his journey until he spills Muslim blood. And so he sees the Muslims camping and a man who was standing. But it looks like a shadow. It's still, it's not moving. And so he takes out an arrow from his quiver, places it in his bow, and he pulls the string and he launches the arrow, and it lands in the body of Abbad. Abbad does something bizarre. He pulls out the arrow and places it on the floor, and he continues his salah. And now he's bleeding. Now the man, he's thinking, did I hit him, did I not hit him? Because whatever it is, it hasn't moved. And so he takes out a second arrow from his quiver and puts it in his bow, and he pulls the string, and he releases the arrow. It hits Abbad, subhanallah. It pierces his body. And so he somehow takes out the arrow and he places it next to him and he continues his salah. Amazing. And then the pagan, he's still unsure about what to do here, and so he takes out a third arrow and he launches it, and it hits Abbad in his body. And so he pulls it out of his body, and now he realizes that he's about to lose his life. And so he falls into bowing and prostration, and he ends his salah. And then he wakes up Ammar. He said, Ammar, I've been struck. And Ammar, he looks at the body of Abbad. It's like a red idol, just drenched from blood from head to toe. He's really injured badly. He said to him, may Allah forgive you. Why didn't you wake me up from the first arrow? I see 3. And then here's the response. That could only be uttered by a man or a woman who carries out salah in a state of khushu'. Abbad ibn Bishr, he said, I was reciting a surah from the Quran, and I really did not want to interrupt it. And then he says, Waymullah, I swear by my Lord, لولا أني أضيع ثغرا أمرني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بحفظه لقطع نفسي قبل أن أقطعها أو أنفذها. He said, and I swear by Allah, if it wasn't for the fear of failing in a task that the Prophet ﷺ had entrusted me with, I would have stayed in my place till I die instead of interrupting my recitation during salah. That's the only thing. I was just worried about letting you guys down. Otherwise my soul is cheap in the path of Allah. The salah is a salah of khushu', and look at what it does for people. So these are examples of people whom you could see them when they are praying. Their physical presence is there, their emblems, their bodies, it's there. But their ruh, their souls are out of this universe. It's transcended everything that you know. And they are circumambulating around the throne of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu above the seventh heaven. Worshipping Allah, calling upon Allah, feeling that nearness and warmth to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, where they have disconnected momentarily from everything that you and I call life. This is khushu'. See, brothers and sisters, there's a very important point here. A lot of us, we read that salah prevents people from sin and obscenities. Have you not read that in the Quran where Allah said, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar? Salah actively prevents a person from obscenities and sin. Salah prevents you from sin. And then some people, they say, I don't feel that really. I mean, I've been praying, someone will say, for a very long time, but my habits are habits, sins are sins. Social media, how I present myself hasn't changed. Hijablessness is hijablessness. Relationships, astaghfirullah, pornography, maybe drugs or smoking, haram money. It hasn't changed, but I pray. So what are you trying to say? There's really one of two conclusions. The first of them is impossible, however. But there's two logical ways of looking at this. Either the Quran has told a lie, astaghfirullah. Either the salah does not prevent a person from sin, as the Quran has promised. Or either we are yet to carry out the type of salah that prevents people from sin. Which of the two must it be? It has to be the second one, the latter one. Because Allah does not speak a lie. Therefore, if I am praying and I'm not seeing an effect of it in my life, it's not causing me to grow, it's not changing my habits, then there is nothing wrong with the salah. There is something wrong with my version of salah. It is devoid of khushu'. And that is why I'm not enjoying it. And that is why it's not causing me to grow and transforming me. That's why I'm seeing no change. See, when you complain, we go back to the introduction. When you and I complain that I don't enjoy salah, it's boring, it's repetitive, you and I don't actually have a problem with the salah itself. We have a problem with what our salah has become. If you and I had felt that yearning, that nearness to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu when we worship Him in salah, you wouldn't say that. But what we dislike is what our salah has become. And yes, a salah without khushu' is burden. It's a burden. It's a headache. It's a hardship. And that is why Allah said, وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Salah is a burden, Allah said, except upon those who pray with khushu'. So, how much your salah gives you depends entirely on how much you give your salah.
If you're enjoying our content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support helps us grow and reach more people. Also, if you'd like to help us produce even more frequent and high quality content, consider contributing to us on Patreon. Every little bit helps, and it means the world to us. So, share with your friends, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks for all your support.